This is exactly the reason why I'm terrified for the future of video games, and I'm hoping that Nintendo stays true to itself and classic gaming. Everything is turning into online bandwidth, digital downloading, predicting different things, doing weird things, and this, what the Google Stadia VP of Engineering, Mr. Alex Wiltshire, confirms my fears and why Nintendo just needs to stay the heck away from what some of these other companies are doing. Now, there are some things that Nintendo can copy from Microsoft and Sony, or heck, even Google maybe, with some of like the online stuff when it comes to being able to connect with friends and voice chat and all of that. But this, what the Google Stadia VP, Mr. Wiltshire, had to say is something that Nintendo needs to stay away from, and I'm hoping and I'm thankful that the Nintendo Switch doesn't seem like it's gonna go down in that route. And why I just like to stick to things that are just normal. Call me old-fashioned, whatever the case is, but this is absolutely ridiculous. What I'm about to tell you guys from this, like, you guys see some of it in the title, but we got to talk about this, man, because this is absolutely nuts. So in a recent interview with Edge magazine, Mr. Wiltshire, who is the Google VP of streaming engineering, claims that the company is verging on gaming superiority with its cloud streaming service, Google Stadia, thanks to the advancements it's making in modeling and machine learning. It's even eyeing up the gaming performance crown in just a couple of years. Quote, ultimately, we think in a year or two, we'll have games that are running faster and feel more responsive in the cloud than they do locally. I will repeat what he just said here, okay? Ultimately, we think in a year or two, we'll have games that are running faster and feel more responsive in the cloud than they do locally. So this man is basically saying that streaming, even though it has to go through online, then your button press, wireless controller, all of these firewalls essentially that are set up in order to cause gaming to be a little bit more delayed, those are going to be removed. And how are they going to do it? Faster than local, faster than hardware that's right there and isn't running off of the interconnection. How they're going to do this is something called negative latency. And negative latency, according to them, will allow Stadia to predict your next button press, movement, action, and do the input for you. This is absolutely terrifying. To sit there and say, hey, we're going to be just playing the game for you. We can predict what's going to be going on. How can you predict what's going to be going on? Is this some type of form of AI assist or something like that? This is not going to work for fighting games, right? This is not going to work for fighting games at all. This is not going to work for action games. This is not going to work for games to where you have to press a lot of different buttons in rapid succession. I don't want the internet, some type of weird Google person sitting behind Google, like, I don't know, robot telling me we're going to be able to predict your button press. This is terrifying. Nintendo, stay the heck away from this. I do not buy this at all. And if this does happen, there are going to be missed inputs. There are going to be missed inputs all over the place. I just find this to be ridiculous. And Nintendo just needs to stay true to themselves. I mean, I want to talk about this because this is a way, you know, when it comes to the future of gaming and when it comes to what's going on here. Everyone's talking about SSDs. Everyone's talking about all this other stuff. And people seem to not be talking about how all of this is going to actually improve and make better games, okay? Predicting your input isn't a better thing. I don't know why he'd say something like this, but this is exactly the reason why I purchased the Google Stadia. This is exactly the reason why I wanted to talk to you guys about this, so you guys can stay away, because a lot of you guys are falling into this digital, this streaming, this type of subscription service trends. I see it more and more and more, and a company with the type of forte as Google, with the type of cash that they do have, they can probably somehow get the masses to believe this type of stuff. I'm so happy that we at least have one company fighting for the old school at this point. I don't know how much longer it's going to last with all these new technologies coming around, but at least we still have one company like Nintendo fighting for the old school, fighting for local multiplayer, fighting for local gaming, fighting for regular button presses, fighting for cartridges in 2019, still to this point, cartridges with a brand new video game system or a newer video game system. Absolutely incredible. there is room for all of this, right, in the gaming space. So for people who want this streaming stuff and for people who want all of this Game Pass and digital and all of this, you don't really own anything and streaming thing and pay subscription services, there is definitely room for that. But oh my gosh, I want Nintendo to stay away from this stuff. The Nintendo Switch needs to stay away from it. Nintendo needs to kind of forge their own path. They need to try to tote the line between, okay, we're gonna have to offer some digital stuff, some things, because people do like the digital on the Nintendo Switch. If you have multiple systems, you can put it on one Switch, then you can actually share it with another Switch that you do have. People like that type of stuff, and that's okay. I think that's good, right? If you have a digital game, that makes sense. You can even get it to where two people are playing that game, like if you do like a little trick with the aeroplane mode or anything like that, which I found out just recently. So that's pretty cool, right? That's actually pretty cool. But goodness gracious, man, like all of this other stuff that's happening that I'm hearing is stuff that Nintendo just needs to stay clear away from. Like, we need at least one company that values physical, that values gaming normally, right? We need at least one, because it's starting to be almost zero, right? We had it before with Microsoft and Sony, which they did with physical discs or optical discs, but now they're starting to install to your hard drives, which actually they've been doing now, you know, since the 7th generation. Actually, that's where it kind of started. But now with the 8th generation of systems, pretty much all of the discs just installs right there on your hard drive like a PC. Now we're getting this stuff here. More and more streaming stuff is starting to pop up. We have Microsoft offering xCloud coming up pretty soon here. So everything's turning into streaming, PlayStation Now type of stuff. Oh, no, get it at a low price. I don't want any part of this. How many subscription services are we going to have? This is ridiculous. And like I said, I know I sound like an old head or something like that, but we do need that, right? I think that with Nintendo, their classic sense in terms of what they do, we don't need them going into this type of forte, right? We don't need them going into this type of forte. We don't need them going into these type of waters with all this streaming stuff. I mean, we've already got the issues that we got to solve at this point. And I'm hoping that Nintendo doesn't see this type of stuff and say, hey, we can do this too when it comes down to it. Because I don't want to have 3 different subscription services. I don't want to have AIs or things inputting buttons for me and predicting this type of stuff. This is nonsense. This is absolutely nonsense. What is this guy talking about? This is a rant at this point, right? I'm sitting here and I'm talking about this, but oh my gosh, I cannot believe this guy just said this. So what are you guys' thoughts on this when it comes to what the Google Stadia VP of engineering had to say? I'm not trying to discredit when it comes to his education or his background or kind of what he can do, but to sit there and say in 1 or 2 years we're going to start predicting your button inputs for you, I think that's a dangerous precedent to set for gamers out there that are looking to have the most accurate type of response available. And when you're saying, oh well, we're going to input buttons for you in predicting stuff, that's just something that a Google AI can't do at the level of a gamer when it comes down to it. Imagine trying to predict what Sonic Fox in like Mortal Kombat is trying to do, or trying to predict what Ninja is going to do in Fortnite or something like that, right? You can't predict what these guys are going to do. And I guess maybe this is more on the casual side when they're talking about for gaming, like if you're just pressing a couple buttons, maybe you're just, I don't know, a racing game. But even then, there's not something that's good that comes out of this. And I honestly feel that he's trying to save face when it comes to the latency and everything like that. They're really trying to make waves, and I guess this is going to be something. I guess it worked, right? Because people are going to be talking about this, but I just don't believe that that's going to be a thing that's going to work out well for gamers or work out well for Google Stadia. Maybe if you're playing some casual games and stuff like that, you can get away with the slow pace stuff, but anything fast paced, anything fighting, anything when it comes to like shooting games, maybe like you can like reload, you're out of ammo, you need to press the reload button. Oh, I guess I'm gonna press the reload button, right? But even then, man, like this is scary. This is downright scary. And I'm just saying that Nintendo needs to just stay true to what they have, stick to the classic gaming, evolve the formula, get the features that you need to get, but don't follow what these other companies are doing. Like when it comes to this streaming, when it comes to this subscription service, gaming type of stuff and all digital and all this, like don't follow all this where you need a bunch of big hard drives and everything. Just like, oh man, it's already like, there's already enough issues as it is, and I don't want all this seeping in. But that's just my 2 cents on the matter. What are you guys thinking about this when it comes to Google Stadia and what they had to say here. Do you guys believe what Mr. Wiltshire is saying here with Stadia? And are any of you guys actually interested or picking up Google Stadia within the next month or so? Or I guess not month or so. It's coming out in November, but are any of you guys actually going to get like the service and try it out? I do have it coming in. Just for those who don't know, I do have Google Stadia coming into my place, so that will be next month. I did buy the founders pack or the starter pack that they have there, so I'll be trying it out, reviewing it for you guys, going over some of the stuff, the positives, the negatives. I don't know how many positives there's going to be, but I'm guessing there's going to be quite a number of negatives, because obviously we're already listing them out right now at this point. But what are you guys' thoughts on this? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Go to check out the links in the description below. We got Facebook and Twitter. Go to give us a like and a follow on our social media. Hit that like button if you did like this video. Let me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future, and subscribe to PlayerEssence for latest RPG, Japanese, and Nintendo gaming news. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace.